was on my way to Pancot Palace in search of the sacred skull. The old man in India said retrieving the skull would bring peace to the villagers. He also said there was a second skull, only this one would bring doom to whomever disturbs its resting spot.
Boy, did they mess this one up. Indiana Jones. One of the most well-known action heroes of our time emerged in the 1980s with a trilogy of blockbusters spanning over 8 years. Raiders of the Lost Ark in 81, followed by 2 sequels, Temple of Doom and The Last Crusade in 89. Nintendo was also on the rise in the 80s, so naturally economics says put the two together and you have yourself a piece of gold. And with that, let's begin. You start out at the title screen, and once you press start, you go right into the game. There's no backstory or cutscenes given. They just cut the crap and drop you into level 1. You play as Indiana Jones, but you have no idea where you are or what you're supposed to do. So you just go around and start collecting stuff and figure things out for yourself. Essentially, you have to walk around saving all the kids you can find and collect the items found after you save each kid. In each stage, or wave as they call it in this game, there's 2 separate rooms. There's one like this where you started in, and there's a separate area. Only this one contains the minecarts that can be recalled from the movie. Well, to get to the next level, wave, you have to locate one of 2 keys, either a blue one like this one right here, or in the separate area you'll find a red one. If you find the key, you're allowed to access the next level. Wave. Stage. Your main weapon you get to use is a classic whip that you get to lasso around planks to get from one point to the next. But where does the whip go when you do this? Obviously the whip's also used as a weapon, enabling you to stun and knock off the bad guys into the lava. Your other choices can be found after saving kids, as they reward you after you save them with weapons, the knife, the gun, or the cherry bomb. The problem with this is, when you first play, you can't change weapons. Why? Because you don't know how. You'll spend a good portion of time figuring out how this is done. God bless. Oh man. Dude, is there an L button? You'll finally figure it out. I don't really know what to say about this. It's just awkward. You have to hold down the select button and press the D-pad in a direction. And the jump in this game is just illogical. It seems like there's an unnatural pull towards the bottom of the screen. So if you jump forward, you're actually jumping downward. To jump straight, you have to angle your jump upward. Another problem with this is if you're in heavy combat with a bad guy and you're near a lava pit, if you press the jump button, you're dead. Now I just want you to watch this for a little bit. Kinda seems a little repetitive. Either this is one of the longest levels in video game history, or it just loops on and on over and over again. And this doesn't go just for the minecart portion of the level, but pretty much every level in the entire game. Yeah, I know it would take an idiot not to realize this, but it just makes the game that much more confusing. Well, just like before, once you get the key, you're able to go to the next level. Just like a rotting carcass, this game starts to stink it up. From this point forward, you're going to be seeing a shitload of these carrier belt escalator looking things. The programmers must have fell in love with this feature because you're going to be seeing this everywhere. And the controls are so jerky, you have to be absolutely precise in order to pass through these narrow passageways over the lava pits. I mean, it'd be alright if it was in only 1 or 2 levels, but every level? Come on. You're gonna die in this game, and you're gonna die a lot. But they did include a lot of extra lives. If you find a yellow hat, this gives you a bonus life. It's really all for naught, because if you happen to lose all your life, you're able to go back to where you died from. That seems awfully familiar. Ah, that's right. Altered Beast for the Sega Genesis. The game where you get to walk around as Arnold Schwarzenegger and kick zombies in the ball sack. The method is you press A and while holding start, and you get to play where you left off at when you die. In addition to collecting items when you save the kids, map pieces will also show up. Now, I don't understand this because you can't read them. You can't go to the options menu and open them up and look at a map. They're completely useless. The only use is for points, and you know how I feel about points in a game. The point system is stupid. Your ultimate goal isn't to score as many points as you can like in Tetris or Pac-Man or Guitar Hero. The ultimate goal is to win the game. Who cares how many points you get? It's like you're gonna go up to your friends and say, hey man, I got over 50,000 points when I beat Indiana Jones. You're gonna get punched in the face! The enemies in the game are pretty simple to kill, but get very frustrating and annoying after a little bit. You've already seen these bad guys, which are called thuggies. They're pretty simple to beat in the earlier stages, but in the later stages they come in pairs of 3s and try and gangbang you. And when you end up killing them all, instantly a new set of 3 comes. So what's the point? And what are they doing when you stun them? Looks like they're dancing in some nightclub. You're also going to come across these jumping spiders that look more like fleas, or jumping turds, and they're somehow able to knock Indy around like a pinball. In the later levels, you'll come across scorpions, which are pretty much the same thing as spiders, only faster. They finally get something right by including snakes in the game. In the movies, Indiana hates snakes, but I sure don't remember him being able to fly. By far the worst enemy in the game are the bats, because not only do they come out of nowhere, but they make the most piercing sound that makes you want to rip your ear out. Your only saving grace is if they do hit you, they stand stunned for a moment, which allows you to hit them back. There isn't a single boss in this entire game, but if you didn't notice, there is a time limit. When the time reaches 0, out of nowhere, the crazy bald guy, Mola Ram from the movie, pops in and rips your heart out in a stiff animation. Boy, they could have done a lot better than this. Mola Ram was one tough badass in the movie. Ripped guys' hearts out. Gave me nightmares. To have him pop out of nowhere and look like this? That's just unacceptable. There's not even a change in pace in the music to make it a little more suspenseful. You know what I'm talking about. Like in Mario, when the music speeds up, it heightens your senses and gets your ass going. Not in this game. Among all the frustrating moments you'll have throughout the game, it isn't too hard to get from level to level. But once you reach the 9th wave, if you make it this far, congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. Because from this point forward, the game gets 10 times harder. This ends the first part of my 2-part review of Indiana Jones for the NES. Be sure to check out part 2 right now on YouTube, where the frustration really starts to kick in.